Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening and welcome to the Let's Talk Show here on Urban Cast. Tonight, this is Jack with you guys tonight. I'm like a kid in the candy store tonight, you guys, because Urban Cast is all the way out there on Old Mills Farm. As you can see, a real live farm in that background over there. The ladies definitely surprised me tonight that they were going to be seeing, we're going to see the real stuff. But before we get started, I definitely want to say thank you to our silver sponsor Acadian Ambulance for their continued support of community conversations like the one we're about to have tonight. Tonight, we're talking about something special happening right here in our community: youth development, agriculture, hands-on learning through Old Mills Farm. We're joined this evening by Melanie Moore, founder of Old Mills Farm, nurse, mother, and a Mimi, and Amanda, equestrian professional and riding instructor. We'll start by giving each of you guys the opportunity to introduce yourselves this evening.
Okay. I'm Melanie. I own Old Mills Farm. Started this farm in 2020. Just decided to get a few cows and some sheep so our grandkids could experience the farm life because my husband grew up experiencing that. Did not plan to start a business. Decided to get the fluffy cows, fell in love with them, enjoyed spending time with the animals. We got sheep, and I realized how comforting they were and how calming they were. And I started getting asked by people when they'd see my pictures and videos on Facebook if they could come over and bring their kids and their grandkids, and that's how it started.
Wow. Amanda?
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. I'm a professional equestrian. I've been an equestrian since 2010 after 11 years in the Army. I own and operate Harmony Equestrian Services in DeVille, Louisiana, and I also manage Bar 60 Ranch, which is a sixth-generation family farm. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to be partnering with Melanie this summer, providing all the fun things that we're going to be doing.
And Melanie, tell us, I'm going to throw another quick question in there right quick. Now, where are you from?
Originally from Alexandria, went to Bolton High School, graduated in 1989, long time ago. But yeah, I'm from Alexandria. I was a city girl, not a country girl.
No, not a country girl, but
I never owned a farm animal until 2020. Everything I've learned has been through hands-on experience with the animals.
All right. Melanie, take us back to the beginning. How did Old Mills start?
Yeah. Like I said, I got a fluffy cow and some sheep. My husband was kind of tired of mowing the grass. We have 12 acres. I had no experience with animals. We got them. I started socializing them, feeding them, treating them like pets, and fell in love with them and realized how comforting they were to me. As a nurse, I had a pretty high-stress job. And when I was spending time with the horses, brushing them, or the cows, or holding baby goats, bunnies, I felt a peace and a calm. And so that's kind of where it started. My grandkids would come over. People saw us on Facebook and would ask to come over and bring their grandkids.
All right. What inspired you to, and both of y'all can chime in, what inspired you to combine your background as a nurse with creating a farm-based experience like this?
Well, like I said, just being with the animals, how calming they were to me, and how they relied on me to take care of them, and spending time with them. Everything, the rest of the world faded away. The stress, the weight of life on your shoulders, you just forget about them and be outdoors in nature, learning to love and care for the animals, and it really reduced my stress and anxiety and Yeah.
But look. So coming from that stat environment constantly, and getting home, and it just slows completely down.
Actually, I read an article that states that being around animals will lower your blood pressure, your heart rate. It's actually very healthy. It's been proven, by doctors and things like that.
Yeah. You describe yourself as a mother of Mimi. How has family influenced your vision of the farm?
Well, my favorite thing is having my grandkids here.
Mm.
To see them interact with the animals and how happy it makes them uh, has really influenced and helped me decide that I did want to do this as a business and to continue doing it,
Mhm.
and to have other people's grandkids and kids get to experience that.
Okay. What was the biggest challenge getting Omel's portion of it? Taking it from this is home to this is now business.
The biggest challenge was making, working and running a business at the same time, and then to decide eventually to step away from nursing and
Hmm.
commit myself fully, go out on a limb, take that chance
Hmm.
to run the business. Financially, it was a little scary, and so that was probably the biggest challenge to
Hmm.
to step away and immerse myself fully in this.
Right. And what about you, Amanda? You've been in this whole realm as well. Being a equestrian instructor and all of that kind of good stuff. And then coming from being a combat medic in the Army. How has that transition been?
It was a great transition. I miss the military, and sometimes I'm sad that I didn't do 11 years,
Hmm.
but horses are in my DNA. They're in my blood. So when the VA said that they would pay for me to go to horse college, that was a wrap. Um, with my family, my son got to grow up in a lesson environment. He got to grow up learning how horses react. He got to learn so many social skills, so many physical skills, emotional regulation. There's just so much life skills that come with horsemanship, and I'm honored that I've been able to offer that to both of my children.
Hmm. All right. Melanie, as we were starting this thing off, you talked about the idea of how focusing on nurturing your mind as a nurse, and what does that look like in practice when you start involving the kids into the equation?
It looks like a smile on their face. Honestly, you see their whole body language and their expressions change, and the joy. I've seen little kids almost cry because I brought out a baby bunny,
Hmm.
and they looked at it and they said, "I want to cry." And I've seen some cry. I mean, how can you
Oh,
not?
and last week, for those of you guys that's here with us, these were little tiny. They were under hay, and you look. They were extremely fragile the other day when we were over there, and now look at
I mean, you can't help but be happy in this environment.
them. Yeah. What are some of the biggest lessons kids take away from their time when they come spend time at the farm?
They gain confidence of learning something new or being around something they've never been around it. And once they do it and they realize it's safe and the animals, they learn empathy, how to care for something, how it reacts if it's scared. All these animals feel emotions, fear, stress. They get scared. They also feel joy, and they get to learn that about animals and nature. And they learn just education,
Mm,
how to care for different livestock. They learn the uses of livestock. Um, they
mhm.
learn where food comes from, but they learn how to also treat them with respect and care and love.
Right. I tell you what, being on the farm when we visited over there, it just puts you in that mindset that I want to just be calm. Why is it important for kids today to have a hands-on, unplugged experience like this?
Well, like you said, unplugged. They spend so much time, multiple hours, engaged with just a screen, which personally I think is changing the way they think, the way they react to people, and taking them away from the screen and getting them in fresh air and sunlight and interacting with animals and feeding them and caring for them just changes them completely inside. Um, and it takes them away from that constant scrolling, anxiety, stress. How many likes do I have? Or they forget about it, and so that's how it really helps. It helps them forget about all of that stuff.
And then
And,
you also have the issue, if we don't get more children involved in agritourism and agriculture, it's going to be a dying thing, and everybody needs a farmer at least 3 times a day.
at least 3 times a day, right? I tell you what, this past year we had an opportunity to work with the Rapides Parish Fair, and I tell you, it is really refreshing to see the responsibility that the young people have, and
Absolutely.
and things that when they're taking care of all of these farm animals, from chickens to ducks to rabbits to the cattle, you name it, and they can tell you every single thing about it, and they respect what they're doing, and the level of responsibility is just off the chain. You know what I mean?
It
You can,
is.
yeah, you can definitely turn around and you can see them operating a tractor, and it's like they're not doing anything unsafe about it. They, it's just like really responsible young people.
They learn when caring for animals, safety rules, following instructions, to have an animal rely on you for its shelter, for its food, for its health. Like you said, it gives them a responsibility, and they learn how to be responsible and take care of things, and just give back
Okay.
to the animals and to the care of the animals, and it's rewarding for them, I'm sure, as
Right.
well.
Right. Amanda, we're gonna switch over to you on the equestrian side and focus on that a little bit. Tell us about your journey into this equestrian training and instruction.
Well, like I said, horses were in my DNA. I was
Mhm.
born loving horses. Little girl, all the My Little Ponies, all the Barbie dolls with horses, all of the She-Ra's horses, all the fun 80s toys that had the horses with it. But life took me in a different direction whenever I went into the military. But when I got out of the military and I applied for my VOC rehab benefits, they offered a 36-month equestrian college in West Virginia. And I already had the benefits. It wasn't going to cost me a lot to go, and I couldn't say no. So that started my equestrian career right there. Ever since a little girl, I wanted to be able to ride well. I wanted to be an advocate for my horses, and I wanted to know how to take care of them to the best of my ability and industry average as well, or industry standard. So that was my journey. In 2010, I went to school. I opened up a facility at Bar 60 Ranch in DeVille, ran it for 3 years. That's where we had our very first summer camp with 6 kids. Super
Hmm.
exciting. And then, unfortunately, my ex-husband got stationed at Fort Polk, and we had to go to Leesville, and I opened up a new facility in Leesville. I ran that for 5 years. We did camps, we did lessons, we did training, we did boarding, all of that kind of stuff. COVID happened, and it kind of gave me a chance to step back for a minute and to come back home and come back to DeVille. DeVille, Louisiana, like I said, it's a 6 generational farm, and I get to manage it as a boarding facility now. I'm working on bringing out equine assisted learning in the future. And then it's been so much fun partnering with Mel doing the camps out here.
Wow, wow, wow. What makes your teaching style different when working with beginners versus advanced riders and things of that nature?
With beginners, it's all about setting them up systematically. So every time they come out for a lesson, every time we go to get our horse, we do the same thing. It's repetitive and it becomes muscle memory over time. So before we even go out to the horse, we're going to grab a halter and we're going to grab a lead rope. And then we're going to walk to the horse's stall. We're going to stand in the stall a certain way. We're going to walk up to the horse a certain way and put the halter on. We're going to take our time and we're going to notice how our horse is feeling that day. When we put the halter on, are they pinning their ears at us or are they happy and relaxed? And it starts right there where kids have to actually pay attention to another animal. And that's what's so powerful about the beginners is I get to set them up correctly. I get to teach them what are the safer ways to be around horses or what are some of the more correct ways. And then my beginner students, I put them on beginner horses. Not every horse out there is meant to be a lesson horse. There's so many horses that they're performance horses. They do great at their job, but you put a 5-year-old kid that's screaming on them and the horse is going to freak out. So my horses are tested, they're tried, they've been in the lesson program for years and years and years, and I've taken every possible measure that can be taken to keep the horses safe, to keep the kids safe, and to keep the horses happy and performing.
Wow, wow. You emphasize safety a great deal, and I bet the Army has something to do with that. But fundamentals and confidence. Why are those so critical as well, especially for those young riders?
Well, the fundamentals of horsemanship carry into life. Some of the fundamentals of horsemanship are body position and breathing, believe it or not, is one of the key components. And so if I can teach kids to breathe while they're with their horses, to breathe while they're on their horses, to maybe even notice that they're breathing, that's a life skill that they can take into everyday life. And then just the confidence that happens on day number 1, you don't know how to lead the horse correctly. And guess what? They're animals. Sometimes they don't listen. If you don't do it right, they might not listen. And so over the course of the week, the kids learn how to handle their horses and their horses start listening better towards the end of the week. And so it's so powerful to see a student that might be scared to brush the horse on day 1 or even touch the horse. By day number 5, they're asking me, Miss Amanda, can I pick up another hoof?
And I braid their hair.
Braid their hair.
And they're leading the horse in circles. They're learning to start. They're learning to stop. They end up learning how to do all those things within a week. The beginners do.
Right, right. So how does the horsemanship build? And I think you touched on it a little bit, but specifically, I would like to kind of like drive down into it a little bit. How does that horsemanship build character for young, just riding skills, with kids?
Oh, so many things. I'll tell a story. So one of the campers, little young lady, and she would go up to her horse at the end of the day and she would put her head to her horse's forehead. And that connection that they build right there, I teach my students, if you asked your horse to stop and they stopped for you, tell them they did a good job. So it teaches students to give out that positive feedback and that positive affirmation as well, not just to people, but to animals too. It teaches, oh my goodness, there's just so much.
Mm. Just well, look, I tell you what, it's beginning to be kind of exciting here. Let's talk about the upcoming horsemanship camps. What can families expect?
Well, we have 2 different horsemanship camps. We have an overnight camp, 1 week for boys, 1 week for boys and 1 week for girls. The overnight camp, you can expect to drop your kid off on Sunday and pick your kid up on Friday afternoon. Here, they'll have their lodging, they'll have their meals taken care of, and they'll get 2 horsemanship activities a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. When they're not doing horsemanship activities, we're going to have some water activities. They're going to have the opportunity to fish, the opportunity to play with the baby bunnies and the rabbits, the chickens, the goats, the cows. They'll even get to pet a Highland cow, and there'll be some other fun arts and crafts activities and stuff during the week as well. So that's for our overnight camps. For our half-day camps, those you can anticipate dropping your kid off at 8 o'clock in the morning, picking them up at noon, and they're going to have a horsemanship activity that day. It tends to take 30 minutes for them to tack their horse, about 30 minutes to ride. They switch, they ride again, and then they untack their horse at the end of the day. And by the time that they're done with those 4 hours, parents can pick them up, and most of the time the kids fall asleep in the car on their way home.
So they've spent a lot of that energy out on the farm, and they calm down. You offer beginner and intermediate camps. How do you determine where a child fits?
So our beginner camps are for anyone that's never done one of our camps. Even if you are an intermediate rider, we do require you to come to the beginner camp first. And the intermediate camp is opened up to any of our campers that have completed the first camp.
Okay. And I would assume there is where you guys make sure, even if they've been on a farm riding and all of that kind of good stuff, when they come into that beginner, you start to teach them those proper techniques and all of that kind of good stuff at that time.
Absolutely.
The camps are intentionally small. Why is that so important?
Well, it's important for the kids to feel like they are known. I personally, as a nurse, worked at a camp in the Northeast, and there were 600 kids there. This is a 12-acre farm where the kids will it'll be 2 counselors with them 24/7, a registered nurse, combat vet, EMT. We'll stay with them 24/7, and we'll know them personally. They'll get a lot of attention. They'll get a lot of hands-on interaction with the animals. A lot of time with the horses, a lot of one-on-one, time with the different animals and learning different things. And we can give them the attention because it's small.
And again, it really allows us to focus on safety.
Yeah. Okay. And we talked about that basic beginner class. So in that intermediate class, kind of how does it contrast the beginner class?
So the beginner of the intermediate class, the first couple of days is a reintroduction or going over what we learned in the first week. But in the intermediate class, there'll be more challenging games that we play. They'll actually have to carry a spoon and an egg, and they'll have to move that spoon and egg while they're riding their horse from one bucket to another bucket. So the activities get a little more challenging and a little bit harder. And our beginner camp tends to focus mostly in the walk. They get to do a little bit of jog, but not a lot. In our intermediate camp, we introduce a little bit more of that second gait, that jog or that trot, depending what discipline you are. So that's the big difference between the 2 camps. The intermediate, I am going to require them to remember body parts. They are going to be required to tell me what a commissure is on the hoof, where the hoof wall is, what the sole is, those kind of words and knowledge that you get whenever you start really diving into horsemanship.
All right. So the 5-night summer camps. Let's transition into those at this point. The 5-night summer camps sounds like a full experience. What makes it unique in itself?
Well, it's as opposed to the intermediate, it's 24/7. They stay here on the farm overnight. We spend the whole 5 days together, bonding. They'll make friendships that'll last a lifetime, usually. Memories that'll last a lifetime. They'll have a lot of fun. We have a lot more time to do a lot more activities with them. Arts and crafts, outdoor movie nights, s'mores, bonfires, games, the typical things you think of when you hear summer camp, as well as a lot of time with the animals.
And don't forget fishing.
And fishing and education. It's about fun, but it's also they'll learn, so much information about caring for animals and being around animals and safe behavior. They'll build confidence. It's just a more immersive experience.
Yeah, I tell you, just listening to the background noises, or some of the animals that we could hear when we first came on, just that experience alone, actually experiencing by itself is an experience in itself. Closing down at night and in the morning, what that morning ritual really looks like and that kind of thing. Um, so we panning around here.
The sunset, on the farm.
Oh, that sunset on the farm. Okay, all right. So, what activities stand out? In that 5 night, you know, camp where you guys immerse yourselves together, get to learn each other, y'all bond for 5 days. What activities stand out the most for kids during this time?
Um, the first girls' camp and the first boys' camps of the summer are horsemanship camps. They'll get, like she said, horseback riding instruction twice a day during that camp, as well as we have an 18-foot water slide for them to enjoy. It'll be, like I said, educational and fun. So those are two probably of the highlights: holding bunnies, playing with goats. Really, they enjoy all of it.
And I want to differentiate the horsemanship camp from the farm camp at the end of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
The horsemanship camp, we're doing a horsemanship activity that morning and that afternoon. So they're getting most likely riding, depends on weather, depends on what activities we have, but they should ride twice a day, at least 3 days out of the 5 days that they're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the horsemanship one. The farm camp is going to have a horse day, but the farm camp focuses on one animal a day as opposed to horses. So if you have a kid that says, yeah, horsemanship camp just doesn't sound like it's for me, maybe I'd like to pet a horse and maybe have a little pony ride, but I don't want to do the horsemanship camp, they can always come to the farm camp where they'll be able to have one animal a day. So there'll be a poultry day, there'll be a cow day, a horse day,
The
a
goats.
goats, and the bunnies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you. And then on top of that, you got the bunny, but you got the chickens that are running around there. You got the pigs that are running around. So I would assume it's kind of like a little smorgasbord when you go with the farm camp as opposed to the specialized horsemanship camp. Yeah, you get a little bit of everything.
I think we have all the old McDonald's song, animals.
Yeah, I tell you what, I felt like a kid in the candy store when I was over, and especially when we got in to see the chicks hatching, and the incubators and all of that kind of good stuff. That was just too cool to me. How do you guys balance? Because we are talking about we're learning, but it's almost like you're kind of making learning fun. So how do y'all balance fun with learning and responsibility all together?
I think just learning about animals is fun.
Mm,
Period.
mm.
Learning about animals is fun. And I mean, we crack jokes at when the animals do stuff that maybe they're not supposed to do.
Particularly the goats.
Yeah, when the goats get loose, and we make jokes whenever someone steps in a pile of poop, because guess what? At a farm, there's a lot of poop.
There's a lot
And
of
so those are some of the moments that we try to make light of and try to make fun and enjoyable. But honestly, I think just the experience of being on a farm and learning about animals is fun.
hmm How has the community responded to Omel's farm since launching in 2020? I know when I hit your Facebook page, I don't know how far I went. I might have made it all the way back to 2021. Just
Well, they have been wonderful. We started out small on Facebook initially 6 years ago. We've grown to almost 14,000 followers. For a
Mhm.
little farm like us, that's a lot of people that I get people telling me all the time they live vicariously through my Facebook page, just seeing the animals, and that's adults. We have people that follow our page from all over the world. So what was the question? I'm sorry. I start talking about things.
Just how has the community embraced you guys?
Right, right. They've come out. So our very first event we had was fall of 2020, and we had cars lined up for miles to get in. It was a free event, kind of get to
hmm
know that we're here. And like I said, there was an hour wait to get in, and people waited to come in and bring their kids to pet and feed these animals.
hmm
We have public events. We do birthday parties, mobile petting zoos, and we stay pretty busy. we make a lot of kids happy.
Yeah, so I'm going to go off on a tangent right here. Tell us about some of the other stuff that you guys do, because we talked about birthday parties, retreats, business can come out. You guys have facilities out there where people can, meeting rooms and that kind of thing. I mean, it seems like out at the farm, even if you wanted to do Airbnb and just take the whole farm for the day, because you want to get away from it all. I was just seeing all kind of possibilities when I was over there. Tell us about some of the things y'all do. That the creative things y'all do.
Sure, we do birthday parties at the farm. We do mobile petting zoos. We take the animals to people's houses for birthday parties, to big events, corporate events, city events, church events. We have a bunkhouse cabin that sleeps 8, and we have a bunk room that sleeps 4, so we can host up to 12 people overnight. We've done some ladies retreats. We did in January. We did a big, a reset, wellness yoga retreat. Upcoming this month, at the end of this month, we have another ladies retreat. Those are pretty popular. We have in May a Mother's Day retreat. It's called Once Upon a Farm. It's Mother's Day weekend. It's a mother-daughter retreat for the mother and a child. It's princess themed. We're going to do a princess tea party with Belle and Snow White. We're going to make crowns for them, tiaras. We're going to have a Frozen themed ball at night. They're going to do pictures with a unicorn. And then in June, we have a father-son retreat where they'll get to fish and they'll learn how to make a fire, do outdoor activities, things like that.
And then we've also done some goat yoga, and that's how Mel and I actually met. Is I'm also a yoga instructor as well as an equestrian, and I called her when I saw she had baby goats, and I said, hey, I would really love to do goat yoga. And so we've had several sessions of goat yoga out here, but we've also taken the goats to businesses to do goat yoga at other facilities as well.
Hold on a minute. We jumped into something called goat yoga. Now, what the heck is goat yoga? Yoga now. Talk to me. I got to set up on this one.
So goat yoga is so much fun, and it's best when you have little baby goats. And I tell the participants that, look, if all you want to do is hold this baby goat in your lap the whole time we're here, this is your time. You do what you want. But it's so much fun when the goats are running free, because when you're in some of the poses like down dog or child's pose, the goats will actually jump on your back, or they'll come up to you and they'll nibble your hair. It's just a really fun experience if it's something that you've never done.
Right.
You'll get an invitation to our next one.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. As long as we leave the camera somewhere else, you know what I mean? What do you say about parents who are on the fence about signing their kids up for one of the programs?
You can always pick them up at any time if you feel uncomfortable and they're not having fun. Let them come out, let them have an experience. It doesn't get much safer than 2 people who have all of their certifications. It doesn't get much more intimate than 8 kids at a time for overnight camps. And even during the day camps, we do have kids that come and get homesick. We do have kids that come to camp and struggle a little bit with being here all day. And we both have experience with dealing with kids that are struggling with that. So we're going to do our best to keep them here and figure out what's going on to make their experience the best it can be. But sometimes, kids just aren't ready.
Yeah, kids are just kids, and 1 year they could be in this mode where they don't want to have anything to do with it, and next year the light goes off and it's a whole different child and that kind of good stuff.
And I think a lot of times some of them not experiencing something like this until they do it, they learn that independence.
Absolutely.
From being away from mom and dad and being with, they see other kids doing it. And they want to be part of that and do it. And they gain independence and grow from that. Even if it's a little bit of a struggle at first, it builds character and, confidence.
And I see Steve put a comment. I'm looking forward to bringing my grandkids on over. And then let's see, Caleb Shirley. I love Old Mills. I think he was on Low Mills last night out there. And so
we have a lot of fun.
We love
our animals and we love sharing them with people.
I'm gonna be a little messy toward the end because I want to see if the fluffy cows are they within camera range? Are they
Yeah,
too?
they are.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. You
Let me
guys need to
let
check
me
these.
bring them over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yip, 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 yip.
Guess they sitting back out there trying to figure out what the heck are y'all doing out today.
Yip, 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 yip. They're in the water.
They're in the
I don't know if
water.
you can see them.
Yeah, we can see them just a little bit. I can see the white one walking across there. Um, maybe they'll come
Yip,
up
yip,
as
yip, yip. Yeah, if I go get some food, they'll come.
they'll come. I hear you. What do y'all want people to, this is really catching on and all that kind of good stuff. What do you want the community and folk who visit and partake in OMELs? What do y'all really want them to take away from the experience in visiting the farm?
I'd like them to learn to um, experience nature and being outside and how much joy it can bring you.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Here's some cows.
Oh, okay, we good. Oh yeah, there we go, right there.
You see them okay?
Yeah, I can see them. Let me do this. There
I'm
we
gonna
go.
bring them. I'm gonna bring the camera in.
Oh no, we can actually see them good now. And so that's a nice picture right there. I need to hit the little thing to make a snapshot.
That's Charlie. That's my bull
Charlie is
laying down right there. Can you see
laying
him?
down. Okay.
There he is.
Oh, he's getting up now,
Yeah.
and he's a
He wants a
friendly.
treat.
Is he a friendly
He's
boy?
a big teddy bear.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now
That's,
she is a spicy. That's Fiona.
that's
She's
Fiona.
the first cow I got. She's a little spicy.
Oh, she's a little
She
spicy.
she likes treats, and if you're not giving her treats, she'll let you know.
You're bothering me, in other words.
Well, like, don't touch me unless you give me a treat.
Oh, all right, all right. Well, let's leave her alone. We don't want to bother her then. And
That's the
then,
little. Can you see that baby?
yeah, I can see the baby.
That's Autumn.
That's Autumn.
She's sweet.
And how old is Autumn?
Autumn's about 7 months old.
7 months. Okay, all right.
This is Rose. She should be having a baby soon.
Uh-huh.
And then that's Autumn's mom, Scarlett.
Scarlett, right back there. That's
Yeah.
Autumn's mom. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So this is a little.
Now
You
we
know,
can see the little open pavilion. Tell us a little bit about that open with the lights on.
Sure. That's where we do birthday parties.
Mhm.
It's covered patio. It's lit, and inside I can, if you'd like, I can show you.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
Yeah, sure. That's where we do birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get in there. We've actually done a few weddings at the farm over the
Mm-hmm.
last 6 years. This is kind of like their dance floor.
All right.
We've had about 6 engagements at the farm.
Okay.
People book a session to come see the Highland cows
Mm-hmm.
and decide that they want to propose and do pictures with the cows.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
see. Let me know if you lose signal because it is a metal building.
Okay. All right. Will do.
But yeah, this is where we do birthday parties.
Uh-huh. All right.
Um,
Okay.
we
Birthday
have
party.
air conditioning, bathroom, tables, a refrigerator, freezer.
So you get the modern conveniences right here at home, and but you're on the farm.
Yes.
Right.
Um, and then if you like, I can show you a little more of the farm. Let's see.
I like that sunset right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's the sun went
yeah.
down. It was beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, our sheep live down there. Our goats live over there. I got some baby goats I can show you real quick if you have time.
Look, I got time. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, I have time.
All right. Let me go catch one.
So for those of you guys that just joining us, we're talking to Mel and Amanda. They're out at O'Mill's farm, right over in You got what area would you consider? You are considered DeVille in the area where you are, right?
We're DeVille, Buckeye.
DeVille, Buckeye. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and Holloway. Um,
Okay.
you got a baby goat?
But everybody else is getting
It's okay. Let them out. Okay. Goats are bad.
Yeah, I see. Oh, and they busy.
They going straight for the feed. But yeah, this is
Oh,
one of the
okay.
little baby goats.
Oh, the babies. That's one of the ones we held last.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
And
wants a
it's
bottle.
amazing. 2 weeks, and look how large, because they were
Yeah, they're
small.
still pretty little, but yeah.
So this is what we would. So do the sheep participate in the goat road, the goat yoga, or just all goats are in the goat yoga?
Just goats.
Not
Just-
yet.
Okay. All right. Oh, this is just lots of fun.
Yeah, they're
This is my favorite part.
babies.
All right, the babies.
I'm trying to eat a tear.
Well, I'll tell you. So tell me. So if somebody was interested in booking a session at Old Mills, what do they need to do?
They would they could reach out to us on Facebook. They could message us. They could go to our website. There we have our phone number there. You can message through the website, which is olmelsfarm.com. Our Facebook is Old Mills Farm. My phone number is 318-794-9533. That's my cell, so they get me directly. So yeah, they can reach out in a number of ways. Our first girls summer camp sleeps 8. We've already sold 6 spots. So there's 2 spots left for that. It's the last week of May. And then the boys horsemanship camp will be following that. Right now we haven't had any boy moms call. So if you have any boys out there that want to learn to ride a horse, give us a call for the horsemanship camp and get them signed up.
Okay. All right. And you guys are primarily on Facebook. What other platforms are you guys on?
We're on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Okay. All right.
I do have an account on X, but I'm in my 50s, so
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
and Instagram is where I live mostly.
Yeah. And here the dominant ones are TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So I think you're in the sweet spot of where the social media is here in our area, at least right now, and that could change at any given moment.
Right. I mean, moms and grandmas are typically on Facebook and Instagram mostly.
That's right. So before we get out of here, Mel, is there anything that we didn't cover that you think we need to know about, Amanda?
Can you think of anything?
Can you think of anything before we get out of here?
No, I think we covered what we needed to cover for sure. Like I said, safety is really important to us. I've been in this industry for almost 15 years now, and 16 years. And Melanie's done such an amazing job at this facility to make sure that things are clean and neat and organized. Her animals are happy. And that's the coolest part about being out here is you can go to someone's facility and you can tell if their animals are well taken care of and happy. And Melanie has a facility where her animals are happy.
I think that's just the nature of the two of you guys, a combat medic and an RN. So you go figure, and both veterans.
My husband and I live here on the farm, so we take care of them 24/7. We see them every morning, spend all day outside with them, working on the farm, and feed them before we go to bed. The goats particularly are always hollering to be fed, but we get to spend a lot of time with the animals. They're well cared for. I like to call them my family because they're that's what I take care of now. I had kids, I had grandkids, and my days are filled basically taking care of the animals. Wow. And I enjoy it so much. So,
well, I definitely enjoyed spending this time with you guys over at O'Mel, and I can assure you we'll be back over sometime soon. And hopefully, if someone is out there looking for something different to do, to make sure they are covering whatever it is. It could be a retreat, a department function, or whatever it is. But you can always go change the scene a little bit and go
Oh,
couple.
absolutely. We can
Yeah.
customize a retreat for
Mhm.
churches, Boy Scouts.
The Wilderness Girls.
Yeah, we
How
had,
many were with
there
that
were
one?
37 that came out. They from the New Orleans area.
Mhm.
We have, like I said, 12 acres, so we could accommodate Boy Scouts. I'm sorry, the goats are trying to get in the feed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You hear that noise?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up on my side over here. We definitely want to thank Melanie, you and Amanda for joining us and sharing OMELs with us this evening. And again, thank you, Acadian Ambulance, for facilitating and making sure we can have these kind of conversations. We also want to thank our business partners, Sadler's Towing, Long's Products, Nader's International Market, the Threadhead and Embroidery, Elegance Beauty Supply, and of course, Old Mill Farms. You know what I mean? We definitely want to thank you guys. And as always, stay connected with your community. I'm going to go ahead and throw this little tidbit in there. I try to say it all the time. This year, almost a 500,000 people here in the state of Louisiana have been put on what's called the inactive voting rolls. And so I encourage you to check your voting registration status. I'm not saying anything about party or whatever. You just need to go check. There's almost a 500,000 of us out there that's on that inactive status. And so before you get to the polls and they tell you something about you can't vote or something, check it. You got the opportunity to do it right now. Again, make sure you guys stay connected, and here on Urban Cast, as always, get involved in your community. Mel, Amanda, I really thank you guys again. If y'all could just hang in there, we're going to go ahead and end this stream right quick.
Yeah.
Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.